Have you ever felt like a person, for no apparent reason, constantly occupies your mind, as if they were anchored deep within your being? It could be an ex, a platonic love, or even someone you've just met, but their presence seems to persist beyond your control, defying all logic. Carl Jung, the great master of psychology, believed that this phenomenon wasn't just a coincidence. According to him, when someone clings to your thoughts, there is something much deeper at play, something beyond the obvious. Is it obsession, attraction, or something far more mysterious and revealing about your own psyche? Prepare to embark on a fascinating journey through Jung's theories on the shadow, projection, and synchronicity. You'll discover that perhaps it's not about that person at all, but rather an hidden doorway to the darkest and most revealing corners of your being. Do you dare to explore what your mind is truly trying to tell you? Jung's theories. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." He believed the human mind is like a labyrinth, full of hidden passageways leading to treasures of self-discovery. But most of us never venture into these dark corners. Instead, we stay on the surface, preoccupied with daily life, while our unconscious mind quietly works overtime. When someone keeps showing up in your thoughts, Jung believed it's not just a coincidence. It's a wake-up call from your unconscious. Imagine your mind as an iceberg. The tip is everything you're aware of, your thoughts, feelings, and memories. But the massive hidden part beneath the surface, that's your unconscious, and guess what? That's where most of the action happens. Buried deep down are your repressed desires, unresolved emotions, and hidden fears. So when someone keeps resurfacing in your mind, it's often because they've triggered something buried in that unconscious realm. Think about it. Maybe they said something that resonated with an old memory, or perhaps they embody something you wish to become. According to Jung, these aren't accidents, they're signals. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you're doomed to be haunted by them forever. It just means it's time to pay attention to what your mind is trying to tell you. The shadow, meeting your hidden self. No, your shadow isn't just what you see on the sidewalk. Jung described the shadow as everything about yourself that you've repressed, denied, or ignored because it doesn't fit your ideal self-image. And here's where it gets interesting. The people who stay in your mind might be your shadow in disguise. For example, maybe you admire someone's confidence because deep down, you struggle with self-doubt. Or perhaps you're drawn to their creativity because you've neglected your own. On the flip side, someone might annoy you endlessly because they embody traits you refuse to admit you have, like arrogance or impulsiveness. Jung believed our relationships with others often mirror our relationships with ourselves. When someone occupies your thoughts, they might represent a part of your shadow begging for attention. It's as if your unconscious is saying, "Hey, remember me? We need to talk." Recognizing this can be powerful. Instead of obsessing over why you're thinking about them, you can start asking, what part of me are they reflecting, and how can I grow from this? The shadow isn't something to fear, it's something to explore. As Jung wisely pointed out, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Anima and animus, the inner relationship. Now let's talk about two of Jung's most fascinating concepts, the anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects of our psyche and play a huge role in how we relate to others. The anima is the inner feminine in men, while the animus is the inner masculine in women. But don't worry too much about gender. They're symbolic representations that everyone has, regardless of identity. So what does this have to do with someone living rent-free in your head? According to Jung, when you're fixated on someone, it might be because they resonate with your anima or animus. Maybe they align with your subconscious ideal of a partner, or they bring out qualities in you that you're not fully aware of. For example, you might be drawn to their emotional depth because it reflects something you long for in your own life. But here's the twist. It's not just about attraction. Sometimes the anima or animus can create illusions. You might project an idealized image onto someone, seeing them not as they are, but as your unconscious wants them to be, and that can lead to some pretty confusing feelings. Understanding this dynamic can be a game changer. Shift your focus from "why am I obsessed with them" to "what part of me are they awakening?" It's a reminder that the people who occupy our thoughts often reflect the most intimate parts of ourselves. Final thoughts. When someone persists in your mind, it's rarely just about them. More often it's about you, your unconscious desires, fears, and the parts of yourself you've yet to acknowledge. Jung's theories remind us that these moments aren't coincidences, they're opportunities for self-discovery. So the next time someone takes up space in your thoughts, don't fight it. Instead, ask yourself, what is my mind trying to show me? It might just lead you to a deeper understanding of who you truly are. The concept of projection. This is where things get really wild. Jung believed that much of what we feel about others has little to do with them and everything to do with us. This phenomenon is called projection. Think of it as a mental cinema. You take your thoughts, desires, and fears and project them onto another person, as if they were the star of the show. Let me break it down. Imagine you admire someone for their ambition. In reality, this could be a quality you wish to cultivate in yourself, or one you already possess but haven't fully recognized. Or maybe you dislike someone because they remind you of something you fear about yourself, like being overly critical or emotionally distant. Whatever it is, your unconscious is using them as a screen to project parts of your psyche that need attention. Now here's the tricky part. Because projection feels so real, it's easy to mistake these feelings for facts. You might think they're amazing or terrible without realizing you're actually talking about yourself. Jung saw this as a great opportunity. When you find yourself obsessing over someone, positively or negatively, stop and ask, what am I really seeing here? What does this say about me? By owning your projections, you can reclaim those parts of yourself and stop giving other people so much power over your thoughts. It's not easy, but as Jung wisely said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Synchronicity, more than just a coincidence. Have you ever found yourself thinking about someone only for them to text you moments later? Or perhaps they've been on your mind for weeks and suddenly you run into them in the most unexpected place. It's as though the universe is sending you a wink or playing a game with you. Carl Jung referred to this phenomenon as synchronicity, or meaningful coincidences, and he believed it was no mere accident. He defined synchronicity as events that are connected not by cause and effect, but by meaning. In other words, when your inner thoughts and the world around you align in a way that feels significant, it's a sign that something deeper is unfolding. Maybe your unconscious mind is so fixated on this person that it's influencing your perception of reality. Or perhaps there's a larger, unseen force at play, linking your inner world to the outer one. But here's the truly fascinating part. Synchronicity is not just about random events. Jung believed that it's a call to action, a moment to pause and reflect on why this person has appeared in your life and what they are here to teach you. Are they triggering an unresolved emotion, representing a path you fear to take? Or perhaps they're just here to remind you of your own power to create meaning in your life. The next time a synchronistic event happens, don't dismiss it as coincidence. Instead, view it as a nudge from the universe or your unconscious, prompting you to dig deeper. After all, as Jung said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. How to decode your thoughts. Now that we've explored Jung's theories, you might be wondering, what can you actually do about someone who won't leave your thoughts? Jung's ideas aren't just fascinating, they offer practical tools for self-awareness and growth. Here are 3 steps to help you decode what your mind is really trying to tell you. Step 1. Begin by asking yourself, what emotions arise when I think about this person? Do you admire their confidence? Feel frustrated by their aloofness? Are you drawn to their sense of adventure? Recognizing your emotions is the first step in understanding what they represent. Step 2. Dive deeper into what those feelings really mean. For instance, if you admire their creativity, it might be because you long for more of that in your own life. Or, if their rejection stings, it could be tapping into an old wound tied to self-esteem. Journaling or meditating on these questions can help you get to the heart of the matter. Step 3. Use the insights you've gained to foster personal growth. Maybe it's time to work on building confidence, embracing your creative potential, or healing old emotional scars. Remember, this process is about transforming yourself, not trying to change the other person. By decoding your thoughts, you can turn an obsessive mental loop into a powerful roadmap for self-improvement. As Jung wisely said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So don't let your thoughts control you. Take the reins and discover what your mind is truly trying to communicate. Our minds are like treasure maps, each thought and emotion guiding us closer to understanding who we truly are. When someone keeps occupying your thoughts, don't ignore it. See it as an invitation to explore the depths of your unconscious and unlock parts of yourself that you never knew existed. In the end, it's not about them, it's about you. The people who persist in your thoughts are often the key to unlocking your own growth. So take a deep breath, dive in, and uncover the messages your mind has been trying to share with you all along.